been acting like a wild man, sleeping like a child. You're so luminous and vibrant. I'm always in bloom for you. Always in bloom. Always in bloom for times I've stranded, a castaway on unknown shore, although a stranger in this continent. I'm always in bloom for you. Always in bloom. Always in bloom for you.
It's pretty interesting. It's the second year in a row I've come to the Sods in the spring, when typically you would expect it to be pretty wet here, since the Dolly Sods is known for being wet all the time. And I wouldn't call it wet at all. I'd actually, you know, it's May 2nd today. I'd say, I mean, they're not in a drought, but it's dry. Second year in a row, kind of odd. First little trouble of navigating here. I came down this slope and then circled around into this area, and there's absolutely no blazes or trail markers anywhere since I started, not just in this area. However, I have my paper map and my all trails map, and so I'm just kind of following, you know, the direction it looks like, and right now I'm kind of pointed straight ahead, so looks like I'm up here. I have read of people complaining because there's no trail markers, and typically up until now, which is getting, you know, 1.75 miles or so, it's not been hard. It's been pretty easy to tell where the trail is, but it's the first spot where it isn't. coming from that way and just hiking along this valley here. And a stream going through it. About 2.5 miles in. All right, just came from that way, and this is what I'm looking at. It's a split. Go left or right. If you go right, it says Fisher Spring Run, and if you go left, we'll stay on Red Creek. You can kind of see here, right would be the wrong way. It would take me up into another valley to a different area than where I want to go. I want to stay left through all these campsites and work my way along the, well, I'm going to be going up the ridge here until we get to that section of campsites. That's where we're going to stay for the night. Well, on the map it said river crossing. I think it comes out here because the water's much slower here. This line right around like that. However, I'm gonna need my hands and my hiking poles, so I'm not gonna be able to put this one on video, I don't think. Rocks are so slimy. Whew. Dude, it wouldn't be so bad if the water wasn't so cold, like freezing cold. I think that'll be the last bit really where I need to be in the water. The rocks are so slippery, you just can't, you know, you're gonna slip, so you can't do it with shoes and with feet. You gotta be careful. Now that's the way I'm headed. That's where I've come from. More specifically kind of down there. I'm kind of following the valley along the ridge here, gradually working my way up. This is the start of the section on the map that looks real steep and relentless for half mile or so. So far though, you know, I wouldn't say it's anything like that. It's fairly gradual still at this point, just very, very rocky. So I'm just hiking along, listening to Joe Rogan, and I mean, This is the camp spot, the spot I was planning on camping at tonight, because I thought this is pretty much the top, almost the top as far as climbing and elevation. And I thought I had like another, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile to go in a steep section, but I was wrong. So I'm gonna look around here a little bit, see if there's access to fresh water, take a break, and look at these campsites, see if it's something I want to consider staying here. It's lunchtime. I got plenty of time. Or rather, I want to push on to the next group of campsites, which is the great thing about the Dolly Sods. They're everywhere. This is the campsite that I was specifically looking at staying, and it's clear. There's no one here. Got a fire pit, a little bit of firewood. Oh, this is cool. This is definitely good enough to take a break if I can find some shade. Wow, it's beautiful. Definitely a popular campsite. You can see the bottle of what I was smelling there. I think it's like some moth or something. Beautiful. I'm gonna take a break here, but I don't think I'm staying. I don't know. I'm gonna look at the map. As beautiful as this place is, it's 12 o'clock. I got here much easier than I thought it would be, so I'm gonna keep going. Now, the one big gamble here is that the river that's over on the other side, which is where would be the next spot where I could really camp legitimately and have fresh water and established campsites, is about 3.5 miles away, and I don't know, rather the stream over there is running. It's dry here. There is water, plenty of water along this stretch of the hike in, but I'm not sure about that other side, so time will tell. It's so dry here. I mean, we're up on the top of this little plateau area, working our way over to the other stream. I think the reputation of Dolly Sods is, it's always wet, but it's not. So it's just this 2 years in a row. I barely got my hiking boots muddy at all here at the Sods so far. Still have a little more than half the hike to go, but just interesting. we got some signs everywhere. That's the trail we were just on. Blackbird Knob, that's a different trail. You can see no water. And then we have the big signs, because you're probably getting some people that are entering the trail in these areas are converging here. So got a big sign. And there's the big Stone Cold Trail. That's our trail back. Now we're just looking for water and a decent campsite. Everything should be fairly flat or downhill. Look a lot like this until we get into the woods here in a little ways. And then it'll start to be more and more downhill. Little concerned because I crossed over what appeared to be the top of a river or a stream, and there was nothing there. I mean, you could tell where water might be once in a while, but wasn't much going on. You can see water here, but this is trapped water, not necessarily flowing water. You would not want to drink this at all, filter or no filter. See that crap? I don't even know what that is. That's disgusting. You couldn't pay me to drink that. It'd be like drinking ocean water, you know. It might be water, but it's gonna hurt you more than it helps you. That is a wonderful noise. It means I've got some water. It's got to go downhill, so we're both going in the same direction. So I should be able to find a spot. It's starting to look a little bit, you know, bleak there for a second. But here we go. Drinkable, but I'd rather have my water flowing a little better. When I say drinkable, I mean with a filter. Only with a filter. A little fire pit. A little shade. Not really much shade, but there's our water. I'm supposed to follow this on the way out, so I think I'm going to keep going. I'd like to have some better trees. Oh, here we go. I found camp. Phew. Here we go. A little bit further down trail, not even, I don't know, not even a tenth of a mile or so. And water's right here. I see two trees I can hang a hammock up. Fire pit. This is it. was a long night. It wasn't supposed to rain at all, but it pretty much rained all night long. I was worried that it was like going to be a severe thunderstorm, and there was some pretty serious thunder and lightning there in the beginning, but the rain never. It was just a consistent rain for most of the night. I was also worried about wind. When you get a thunderstorm, sometimes you get some very severe wind, and it was one of those things where I could hear the wind coming, and then when it hit here, I was pretty worried, but it wasn't serious at all. It wasn't, just a rainstorm, really. When you're out here in the woods, I made sure that there wasn't any dead trees around, but if you paid attention to some of the trail footage, there's a lot of downed trees. And typically it's wind that takes the trees down. Let's get packed up and get out of here. So let's go over what happened yesterday. We started out here and we hiked in, went around this way, and when I got to here, that's where I thought I was going to camp. And so I went down in here and looked at these campsites. There's that waterfall in the stream. Cool area, but you can see there was just a lot of trail left. Put some more miles under my belt, and so I went on. And this was that section that was really hot and dry, and to be honest with you, it was fairly boring. And I hit this turn, and actually the hike I did last year, I came in here and continued on this same trail and went down this way. But this year we went this way. When we got to that split, we went this way. Or that's what we're gonna do this morning, actually, because I think we are actually located right about there right now. And so we're gonna get to this trail split, and we're gonna stay right on, I think it's called Duncanburg something trail. But anyway, we're gonna finish off with this steep downhill section, which we're gonna need poles for sure, and back to the Jeep. That is a bear print. Maybe 200 feet from my camp. Glad I saw that today and not last night, because I probably would have freaked out. Well, that's some Dolly Sods hiking here. What it's supposed to be like. I don't know if it was the rain last night or we've just gotten into the normal Dolly Sods here, but my gosh, everything's wet. You can see we're in this little area of campsites here, and we're looking for a right-hand trail up here called Duncanburger. So keeping my eyes open for that. I have to be careful with these trails, although I've seen literally no trailblazes at all. No markers of any kind. And what you get is you're just following trails And if you don't have a map, you can take a trail like that, which just goes to a campsite or something, and waste a lot of time because the actual trail is back here. And if you're not following yourself on a downloaded map, you're going to waste a lot of time out here. Water crossing, but somebody has gone to a great job of building a little bridge here. Got to be real careful with this because these rocks are incredibly slippery this time of year, especially when wet. And you got to be careful with those wobblers. What a campsite right here. It's beautiful. Kind of interesting. Like beach sand. That is the first people over there camping that I've seen on the entire trail. A lot of nice campsites right here at this split. We're getting off a Big Stone Coal right now and going to Duncanburger. There's your Stone Coal. Your river's over there with some campers. And looks like that ain't much of a trail, huh? Looks like it. It's been like this the whole time. Pant is absolutely soaked. Socks, shoes. Found out my On Cloud boots are not waterproof by any means. It's been a wet journey here on this trail. On this specific trail, the Duncan Burger, don't come here. It's not a good trail. There's nothing to see. And if there's any dew or it rained, the rhododendrons have so much water on their leaves that you get soaked almost instantly. So my hopes of getting out of the Dolly Sods without mud, I don't know if it's from the rain last night or just this is the sods, or probably a little bit of both. The sods is going to get the best of me after all. So it is what it is. This is an endurance thing. It's a mental thing. And yeah, it's miserable walking around soaking wet, knowing you have a mile and a half left to go. But I also only have a mile and a half left to go. So here we go. You get an idea of what a trail is going to be like from apps like All Trails. But, you know, it's just not incredibly accurate. Like this is shown as almost like rock climbing. This is the last stretch out of this trail. This side is okay. It's not muddy. The rhododendrons are right on your knees. But I was worried that it was going to be really steep, and that can be. I'm typically a downhill kind of hiker. I prefer downhill. Some people prefer downhill. Some people prefer uphill. But when it gets too steep, especially when your shoes and the rocks are wet, it can be dangerous, to be honest with you. And so, but it's not been that. It's so far. Of course, look at that. Turn the corner, and bam. This is what I was expecting it to be, but this looks like it's only a short little section. We're going straight across here. Trail came out actually over there behind that big rock, and you have to walk down the shoreline, and this really depends on the water levels when you're here, but I had to walk down the shoreline, traverse some of these rocks until I got right about there, and then I had to just go in the water, and we're, I don't know, foot deep. This is probably the strongest current on this little spot, but I chose this because there's a ledge here. These rocks, I don't know if you can see that. Oh my gosh, they're so slippery. This, not as bad. The other day, it's the same river, just a different location. It was so cold. I could barely keep my stuff together. I had to like find a way to get my feet out of the water, but right now, it feels good. I only got a half mile. I was already soaked to start with, so I was just worried about falling. No falls. Nice cool feet. Probably should have waited to say that until I get up here, but I'm hobbling along to the finish line. You know, it's funny, when you're hiking, or like a lot of things in life, the longest part of your journey home is that last little bit. You know, on a 13-mile hike, it's that last 0.3 of a mile. You turn the corner, every corner, and you're like, all right, I should be there now. I should be there. I should be able to at least see it around this corner. And then you turn the corner, and it's not there. More trail, more obstacles, more life ahead before you can, you know, get it home, get to the vehicle or whatever your finish line is. And it's resilience, it's determination, but it's learning, for me, like literally how to just put one foot in front of the other. Like it's also that time when, you know, a lot of times on, you know, longer adventures and deployments or whatever it is you're going through, when you're going through pain, you learn how to turn that off. Your body just does it naturally a lot of times. It's just like, I know it hurts, but you know, there's nothing I can do about it. Just got to put one foot in front of the other. And you know, the unfortunate thing about that last 2 or 3/10 of a mile, or that last stretch home, is it's like your body knows. And the pain starts to come back. My feet are starting to kill me. My legs are on fire, numb. Toenails feel like they're popping off. My feet are soaked. I'm just miserable, but it's so glorious at the same time. And that's one of the things I love about hiking. It's funny how the things I look back on and love the most about hiking are the things I hate most during the hike.